Hey everybody, I am Melissa, and I'm here today to talk to you about channeling, the different types, and what we are channeling when we do this. So, as I've said on previous episodes, channeling is this ability to connect to the invisible, to the energetic, to the etheric realm, and to bring it into the physical. Now, there are a whole number of beings, of energetics, of frequencies, of guides that we have access to as humans. And I do believe that as we grow and as we evolve and as the consciousness raises on the planet, we have more and more of this available to us to access consciously, so with our awareness, so that we can essentially help improve our lives, help make a difference to the world, help make better decisions, improve our well-being, and improve for those of us in business, and for those of us therapists, healers, coaches, readers, to really help refine the information and the guidance that we give to our clients. So I had a question come up for me today, which was about the different aspects of channeling. So quite often, I think when we think of channeling, we think about channeling the star beings, or channeling the Arcturians, or channeling the angels, or a group of being, a collective of beings like the council, or the galactic council, or these, or the angelic realm. And I think for many of us, we can understand that concept, that there are these energetic beings that have this information, that have personality, if you like, that we are able to then connect to and form words through. So when we're channeling, for me, it's important to remember that we have a resonance, that we have an energetic body, and that we have our natural traits and gifts and abilities and preferences. And it makes sense for me that when we're opening up to channel, it's going to be energetics that complement that, or that are in resonance with who we are, that's going to come through. And we might find that we have a certain connection with, for example, a certain angel. So when I first started reading the Akashic Records and really delving into them, I had Archangel Metatron come to me. And whenever I was running workshops or about to do a session, I would feel this quite distinct energy come in and come through. And I would connect with him and his frequency, and he would help guide me. So Archangel Metatron is said to be the angel of the Akashic Records, and part of that is because he's an angel that can help us with time, and he governs time and sacred geometry, and all sorts of cool things. And it was funny because for me, timekeeping, I'm a spiritual being. Time is a thing. And I would be running these workshops, and I'd call him in, and there was no clock in the room, and I don't wear a watch, and I'll be like, "Mwah." And I have a tendency to want to go up and go off on things. And whenever I'd bring him in, there'd be something that, with his energy and his frequency there, that would guide me to say, to know when the end of the workshop was. And like every week we would finish like at the right time, and it was incredible. And I'd be like, thank you, Archangel Metatron, for keeping me on track. And is that a form of channeling? Well, it depends how you define it, but for me, it's taking something that's invisible and energetic and bringing it into the physical. And this was helping inform my decisions and my actions. So whilst in the workshop, I was certainly coming from me, but I was coming from a greater part of me, and his energetic and other energetics in the room and in the space and in the sacred space I had created were influencing me and guiding me. And then it was my conscious choice, if you like, of then what I was choosing to come and bring through. And I really like that, because this is It's something that's very practical. It's something that we can use every day. And it's like for me having this committee, this board that are available to me at any time, that I can refer to, and I can have them there. It's like having, yeah, it's like having a committee available that you can then say, okay, what would you do? Or remembering. It's almost like sometimes it's like they're there and you've not had that conversation, but then when you go to draw it through, it's it's almost like it comes up as a memory. It comes up as something that you're weaving in and bringing through, but you are still very conscious at the same time. But there is another way of looking at this and of looking at channeling, because many of us who are interested in channeling, which if you're listening to this, you most certainly are, we consider ourselves to be quite sensitive, or we're quite empathic. We can often feel the energies that are around us. And, you know, we might walk into a room and we'll automatically feel the vibration, the frequency, the emotions that are going on around us. And this, if we take the definition of channeling as taking the invisible and bringing it into the physical, we are essentially channeling the energy that's going on in the room, because our physicality is being affected by what it is that's around us. This became very apparent for me when I was running the Awaken event in London, and we were in this beautiful building, the Sanctuary of Peace. And in this building, there had been, you know, worship events, there'd been celebrations, there'd been erotic dance, there'd been, you know, chanting a mantra, like there'd been a whole, and, you know, all of the vigils, and there had been a whole array. And in this place, as you walked in, you could feel I could quite feel the visceral energy of the place. And it was if the walls were holding this frequency. Now, for me, I'd come to this event. It was in London. I was on a stage, and all these people, it was just me speaking. And, you know, like with anything, you start to feel these, you know, these nerves. Is it going to be okay? And I did my thing and I connected to spirit. And when I'm on stage, I am doing a form of channeling. I don't prepare. I don't write all of I do prepare, but I don't write all of, you know, write the speech. I'll have some notes about what it is I'm going to be speaking about. But it's really allowing for the inspiration to come in and come through. And so as I began to open up, it was as if the building and the walls were speaking to me and through me. And they were making this really interesting point that in any moment we can connect in with the energy of fear, which I've said in other episodes can be the default. We have this frequency following response, and these mirror neurons in our body, which will automatically connect in with the strongest frequency in the room. And we are wired for to note if there's something fear, if there's something dangerous, if there's something scary going on. But in any space, there's usually a whole array of this. And what if through our conscious connection and through cultivating this skill and really understanding how our intention and our awareness is then influencing what we're bringing through, what if we could connect into the energy of joy, the energy of peace, the energy of abundance? What if we could do that, whatever situation we were in? Just like when I was in that space in the center of London with all of these people looking at me, hoping to have an experience. And I asked for that guidance, and I asked for the energy of inspiration to come in and come through me. And it was as if all of the cells in the room that held that inspiration started to vibrate with my energy. And so then the words that were coming out and the way that I was speaking and the exercises that were coming in and coming through were held on that, rather than fear, nerves, what if, and all of these other things that, you know, and the people had been through London, they'd had to get there, they'd been on trains, you know, as people were coming into the space, You know, they were feeling a whole things. And as a sensitive being, I could have connected into every one of them. But I chose in that moment to become the dominant energy in the room so that I could recalibrate everybody, and this energy of inspiration, and of course the energy of peace, because it was the sanctuary of peace that I was in, was very present and very frequent. And so one of the questions that I was asked today is, but how? Like, how do we channel? Like, what does that mean to channel the energy of peace, abundance, joy? Like, what does that even mean? So there's two things. There's one, understanding that when you find yourself present in a room or in a space, that you can choose the frequency that you're going to be drawn into. You're going to choose that I'm here and I'm going to find and connect to the energy of joy. I'm going to find and connect to the energy of belonging, and I'm going to let that be in my field and influence me. So it's like you're tuning yourself up and in, and then quite naturally you will begin to bring through those characteristics through your voice, through your actions, through your words, through your thoughts, and through your very energy. And so I'm going to invite you to try that, to try when you go somewhere. Maybe you're in the park, maybe you're in a party with the kids, or in a soft play with the kids. Maybe you've gone out for dinner, maybe you're in a board meeting. Like, play with that. Play with, like, what is it that I'm connecting to, and how does it change the way I feel if I now connect in with the energy of abundance, the energy of inspiration, the energy of peace, the energy of intellect. And we can see what happens. So I'd love to hear from that. And there is another way. And I've done this before. You know, right now in the world, there's plenty of scenarios going on that, you know, are taking us out of our center. And what if we asked to channel the energy of peace? What if we closed our eyes and just took 3 deep breaths? And we invite the energy of peace to come in. And we ask peace, what do we need to know? Peace is always there in every occasion. Peace is there like this subtle pool of water that sits in the pool of in a bigger body of water. And peace is there. And sometimes, yes, it is moved around by the storms. Sometimes, yes, it is pounded by torrential rain. Sometimes, yes, it seems to evaporate and move into the ethers and separate. But if you tune in and notice, you will notice that peace indeed is always there. It sits there underneath. And the way that you know that peace is there is because when the storm hits, or when the wind blows, or when the tornado comes and starts to lift us, you feel this disturbance. And it is not the disturbance in itself that you are feeling, it is the separation from peace. Just like dark doesn't actually exist, but dark is the absence of light. So the chaos is the disturbance of peace, is the peace being thrown around. But should you be still and notice and allow, you will know that peace will settle. We can use these times and these places where peace seems to be so evasive, and it can help us understand where there is no peace in our life, where we find ourselves separate from this true nature of us. Because peace is one of our true natures. We know this when we sleep. We know this when we rest. We know this when we find ourselves in a deep form of meditation, in that moment in between breath, when we actually allow ourselves to be separate from the thoughts and the storms that go on in our minds, that peace is there. And we feel it even for a fleeting moment. And so I invite you, as peace, to just wonder where that puddle is, even if it's small. And ask in every situation where it may seem chaotic or big or loud, where is the silence here? Where is the breath between? How can I just stop for a moment? And in there, in the pause, you will find your peace. I love you, I love you, I love you. And so we can connect in with this and we can receive some wisdom. And we can use it for help. Like I now feel that frequency, and maybe you feel it if you've just listened to these words, that things just feel softer. And actually in my mind, it's almost like I can see or feel this pool, which is sitting just like in my pelvis, of peace, this puddle, and this reminder that as I just tuned into that, now I have an anchor point that I can always move in and move down there. And so I wonder if there's a emotion that you've been wanting to cultivate or you feel has been missing in your life. If you took a moment like I just did and tuned into that and asked for it to speak through you, what might come? So let me know in the comments or over in the Telegram group, if you could connect with any frequency, what would it be and why? And should you choose to, what if you go ahead and do that and then come back and let us know what it is that you have received? I would love to know. I can't wait to see. In all channeling, love and light, I thank you for listening and for watching, and I wish you a beautiful day ahead.